Mr. Michael John, Principal, Auckland House for Boys School, distinguished guests, coordinators, dear parents, and of course the shining stars of the morning, the children. It is a great honor and privilege to be invited back to my school, where I spent my formative years. This school gave me a sound foundation, and I'm truly indebted to the school as well as my teachers. Thank you, Ma'am John, for giving me this opportunity to stand before everybody and acknowledge what I am today. It is because of the school. As years pass by, nobody asks you which college were you in or which university did you go. As you go out in the world, everybody asks you one question: which school did you go to? That is where your foundation is laid. And who are the foundation layers? The principals, the teachers, who are the unsung heroes of the education system, particularly the school. This morning, all went through a roller coaster of emotions as we saw the children performing. It is truly an emotional and an exhilarating feeling for parents. I'm sure many of you didn't know that your children had this talent. So, it's the tireless work of the teachers, the motivation and the guidance of the people who are behind the scenes working with your children. So let's have a round of applause for the teachers. Having been in the field of education for the past 34 years, I've been passionate about teaching, about the well-being of children, and have tried my best to introduce innovative methods of teaching, and of course, a very uphill task of changing the mindset of the teachers. At present, I'm also associated with the Keekli Charitable Trust, whose president, Mrs. Vanda Bhavla, is also present amongst us. In that trust, I hold the position of a vice president, and the trust solely works for the benefit of the children, organizing social, literary events for the children. And we are tied with the schools and constantly having some programs for them. As you all know, children are the future of our nation. There is no doubt about that. Once John F. Kennedy said, and I quote, "Children are the world's most valuable resource and its best hope for the future. To prepare them for the future, we educate them. But in today's world, education is just not about academics. It also is about inculcating habits, humanity, discipline, living in harmony, and building strong character. If you have children with strong character and all these qualities, we have a strong nation." Also here, teachers and parents play the greatest role. They become the role models in such a way as to imbue children with all these qualities. And the entitled behavior of the enlightened behavior of the parents. It fosters confidence among the children and also spiritual and moral atmosphere at home. Research has always shown that parents who work with the children have always shown better learning outcomes. So it's important that parents work with their children. It's not the sole duty of the school. Dr. Abdul Kalam writes, "It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken adults. Children are like clay, you can mold them any way you want. They're so tender. So we must pay attention to our children. That is very important. Ironically, children in our system are taught to read, write, and maybe speak at times, but never taught to listen, analyze, solve problems. So teaching needs to be more interactive, encouraging children to speak, to question, and also to think. In the past decade or so, there has been a demographic change. Life has become too fast-paced, with both parents working and thus unable to spend quality time with their children. Also, the deluge of information and unregulated use of phones and computers is posing challenge for the parents as well as the teachers. So what do? We need to regulate all these things. We have to be role models for our children. Parents, as they walk into our offices, I have had these many experiences. They will say that we don't know how to handle our children. They don't listen to us. Why don't they listen to you? Because you are not giving them what they want. They want you to listen to them. Spend quality time with them. And how do we wean away our children from TV, phone, computer? First, by not doing it ourselves. And definitely inculcating reading habits, spending time with children, encouraging them to play with the peer groups, giving them those experiences which we have had throughout our lives. As children, we used to go out and play. What does it give us? We learn to share. We learn to decide, to solve a problem. So those are the skills which are now lacking in children, because there is hardly, after school, there's hardly any interaction with the children of their age. And also, we need to take our children out with us, talk about the things around us, show them nature so that they are aware of the things that surround them. Now also, we always talk about the holistic development of a child, which is the need of the hour. Besides the academics, we need to pay attention to the physical, psychological, social, emotional, and intellectual growth. If these things are not looked into, children will not be able to face the world and take it heads on. Gone are the days of teaching where the tools were chalk, blackboard, duster, and books. These days, teachers face many challenges, and the children of today have short attention spans, and they need different methods of learning.